Hi guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to a gorgeous spring morning in Northumberland, and welcome to Alnwick Castle. So as you may have guessed, today I've come to Alnwick, and my subject for the morning is going to be Alnwick Castle. But really that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm actually stopping en route on the way up to Berwick, so right up to Northumberland. But I've got a new lens to try out. So I'm going to find myself a suitable viewpoint, set the camera up, then I'll talk to you about this lens. Can't believe just quite how beautiful it is this morning. This is lovely. Now, if you subscribe to the channel, you may well have seen that I did a community post recently where I was asking if people would be interested in me trying out the 28mm to 200mm Lumix compact Superzoom. And thankfully some people said yes, which I was quite pleased about because, to be honest, I wanted to try the lens out myself. But this video is not going to be a review of the lens as such, but this is literally going to be the first time I've taken it out and tried it for landscape photography. Now, I don't really have to explain the benefits of having a lens that reaches from 28mm to 200mm in one go, because that's quite an incredible reach. But there is something I'd like to show you, and that's the size, because this is a ridiculously small lens. Now let's consider this is reaching from 28mm to 200mm, so it's mounted on my Panasonic S1R. That's at the 28mm setting, and that's at the 200mm setting. That is super versatile, and I've got some gorgeous reflections at the moment, so I'm going to have to work quite quick on this shot. I've got this camera set up with a custom function where I click it to C1 and it basically drops down to ISO 100, f14, 2-second self timer. I'm just going to have to get a little bit closer, try and make the most of this reflection. And the composition is a lot nicer. Now I'm shooting at 28mm, which is giving me 13th of a second f14, which is perfectly adequate. I'm just going to see what a polarizer would actually do. Yeah, polarizing on this occasion could actually be quite pleasant. So it's got a nice clip on the lens hood. As I say, this is a first impressions. I haven't used this lens at all. So you can literally just clip it on. If I'm honest, I would prefer a wider lens at this point so I could get a bit closer and get the bottom of the trees in. But it is what it is. It's a 28mm lens. I'm going to take the shot without the polarizer on, because I'm not sure if I'm getting a bit of uneven vignetting, which is quite common as soon as you go past the 35mm mark on a full frame camera. Yeah. I think that's a nice little start, and I'll put the shot up on the screen for you now. Right, that was quite a nice little shot. Now I've just noticed as I was walking back to get you guys that there's a nice tree right in the distance on the edge of the water, which might be ideal for sort of zooming in. So I'm going to go to 200mm. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning. Right, I'm going to go for a square crop, I think, on this one, and I'm going to take it back to 149mm. And that's the beauty, isn't it, of having a lens like this, the fact that you can choose any focal length you want between 28mm and 200mm. I hope you can see the shot there. It's basically very simple. It's just the tree down here, square crop, trees playing supplementary role here. Okay, I've just realised I've left image stabilisation on, so I'm hoping that hasn't caused me too much bother with the shot before. It's got me concerned now, because sometimes when you leave image stabilisation on, it can trick the camera into actually thinking it's being handheld. And effectively what that means is you'll get a bit of shake on it. So I'm a bit concerned about that. I had it recently on a workshop, which last month in Lindisfarne, and had a client with me and David, and basically image stabilisation was switched on a lens, and what it meant was that all the shots were looking slightly soft, and yeah, a bit of a nightmare really, but we figured it out as you do on workshops. I'm actually going to try putting a 10 times filter on. Now, if I'm being honest, 10 times filter is really extreme for this shot. But what I don't want is I don't want any movement in the water at all. I wish I had a 6 times with me, but oh, it doesn't like that. The S1R doesn't have the greatest autofocus system, but it's pretty accurate when it gets it. So 6 seconds, I'm going to drop it down to now. We can go for 2 seconds f8. I'm a bit worried about the sun's coming straight onto the front of the lens, so this is going to be a good flare test. Oh, it's looking absolutely gorgeous at the moment. I suspect this will be a black and white, and I'm confident that's the shot, and I'll put it up on the screen for you now. I'm pleased with that one, and I think that has straight away shown the versatility of this lens. That's brilliant. So it's a 67mm filter thread, the same as all the other Panasonic, well, the majority of the Panasonic S lenses, same as the 20-60, same as all the primes. Size is brilliant, isn't it? Now if you look at how small it is, now construction wise, it's pretty much the same size as the 20-60. It's a little bit heavier, but honestly, we're not talking much. I've never known really anything quite like it. The focal range of 28mm to 200mm in such a compact. You know, I've had Superzooms before. I had the Tamron 28 to 200. I've had the Nikon 24 to 200. This is smaller, but does it optically stack up? I think it's probably on a way to find out, and that's just by trying it out. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do, as I'm a little bit concerned that my last shot shooting that direction may have a bit of motion blur from an image stabilisation being turned on. I suspect it won't, but if nothing else, because it's so still and I didn't get the bottom of the trees in, what I'm going to try and do is try and find an angle slightly further down the river, slightly out a bit, and see if I can actually sort of zoom out with my feet as such and get the full reflection of the trees and the castle in the shot, and then I think that will be the shot of the day. I think we have to congratulate Lumix on what they're doing with their range of camera lenses at the moment, because they are definitely trying to think outside of the box. And I think this is a lens that I personally feel the system needed. Now, straight away, the angle's a lot nicer here. And we can do it with 28mm. A little bit tight, but I think I'm going to come slightly back. Yeah, by zooming with my feet as such, I've managed to come back just a fraction. I like some of my shots to have a little bit of space to breathe. I've always say that you can crop in later, especially when you've got a 47 megapixel camera like this. But it's pretty much impossible unless you're going to generate it using AI to add anything around the frame, you know. And I don't want to start using AI. I don't want to get into the debate of using AI. I'm just going to see if polarization is going to be a bit more even. I'm pretty much shooting 90 degrees to the sun now, so I'm hoping. Yeah, that's nice. I think really all I need to do now is wait for the ripples to drop down. I think part of me still wishes this was a 24mm lens, because sometimes you can zoom with your feet, but the perspective's slightly different. You know, if I could be here and the shot was 24mm, so slightly wider, but the perspective's changed slightly, I think it would be a nicer shot. But I fully understand why they haven't made it 24mm to 200, and let's face it, I think it's a small price to pay if you can have a lens quite so compact. That's the one. I'll put the shot up on the screen for you now. So as I say guys, that was my first trip out with this lens, and it's impossible to give any kind of review when you've used something once, you know, and clearly I won't know how good this lens is until I start looking at the image quality. So really this is all about first impressions, and first impressions are really good. You know, it's nice and small. Okay, it's variable aperture from, I think it's f4 to about f976, probably not quite that high, but you get the idea. As soon as you start zooming in, then the maximum wide open aperture drastically drops down. So I don't think I could be using this inside. This is an outdoors lens. One note on construction, whilst it's built well, and it's obviously got a really good weather seal on because I can feel it when I'm putting it on, it's a dust magnet. And I had this with the 100mm macro as well. It's just like the ribbed areas of the lens just attract so much dust that even though this is brand new and never been used, it looks like it's been sitting in my bag for 6 months, you know. So yeah, I wish Panasonic chose a different material, but perhaps that's just the way it is. Perhaps that's all they can do. I don't know. I'm not a lens manufacturer, obviously. Optically, I don't know at the moment. I've got a feeling it's going to be performing very good wide and probably not so good at telephoto. That tends to be the way. I suppose it's a question of how bad is it at telephoto. And this is the sort of thing that you don't know until you've used the lens. The amount of times I've taken a lens out and the first time I've used it, I thought, God, that's great. And then 3 months down the line, I thought, well, actually, yeah, it's let me down. So I don't know. But what I would say, the focal range, 28mm to 200mm in a small compact lens like this is incredible. But yeah, hopefully these photos have given you some idea of what it can do. And as I say, this is not a review. This is my first impressions. First impressions are good. But I will do a proper review of it probably about 3 or 4 months down the line. Anyway guys, I'm off to meet David Taylor up in Berwick. We've got to do a bit of a recce for a workshop. I'll take this opportunity just to give a small plug. We are running workshops throughout the year in Northumberland, so if you want to come to places like this, and of course Northumberland, it's always sunny, if only. But yeah, if you fancy joining us, there's a link in the description of this video. And on that note guys, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you soon for another one. Thanks for watching.